Hi, I'm Dr. Amy Tutor, the Skeptical OB, and I have an important message for you today. Your baby doesn't need you to suffer. You might be surprised, considering that midwives, lactation professionals, and attachment parenting experts have been desperately working to normalize maternal suffering. What are natural childbirth advocates and midwives who promote normal birth doing, if not normalizing maternal agony? What are lactation consultants doing when they advise mothers to accept infants waking multiple times a night to eat? And what are attachment parenting advocates doing, if not normalizing women restricting themselves to women's work? No doubt you've heard their admonitions. Labor pain is good pain. Babies don't need to learn how to fall asleep on their own. Just breastfeed. If you're too tired to care for your baby in the hospital, what are you going to do when you get home? You should stop taking your antidepressants or the medications that control your ulcerative colitis or your epilepsy so you can breastfeed. So how can you stay comfortable, rested, and healthy when there are so many professionals who think you should be suffering instead? Here's what I want you to remember. Your baby doesn't need you to suffer. There is no benefit to your baby from enduring labor pain. Sure, the baby must exit your body somehow, and a significant amount of pain is unavoidable, either from labor pain or C-section pain. But there's no harm to your baby from minimizing either. There's no benefit to your baby from normal birth. Yes, I realize that this is the bread and butter of midwives, doulas, and childbirth educators, but their economic well-being pales into insignificance compared to the health of your baby and yourself. C-sections are safer for babies. The liberal use of interventions is preventive medicine, and waiting for your due date to come and go actually increases the risk of complications for both you and your baby. There's almost no benefit to breastfeeding your term baby. Indeed, the benefits are so small that they are literally undetectable in large populations. Breastfeeding is a good thing, but it's only one of two excellent ways to nourish a baby. Therefore, there's no benefit to exclusive breastfeeding. It's great if it works for you and your baby, but it's equally fine if it doesn't. There's no need to torture yourself pumping between feedings if you have insufficient breast milk. There's no need to get up in the middle of the night to breastfeed if someone else can give your baby a bottle of formula. There is no benefit to your baby or to you in waking up multiple times each night. Yes, your baby must be fed when he or she is hungry and must be comforted when ill or in distress, but that doesn't mean that you always have to be the one to do it. Your partner can help, your parents and in-laws can help, nannies and au pairs can help. There's no benefit to having your baby strapped to you, sleeping in your own bed, or always within inches of wherever you are. Some women find these things enjoyable and should, of course, do them, with the exception of bed sharing, which increases the risk of SIDS. But other women need time and space to themselves, need to socialize with others without the baby, or need to work. There is nothing wrong with doing them. Don't misunderstand. You will suffer even if you take heed of these precepts. You will suffer some pain and exhaustion because it is impossible to completely avoid either. But most of your suffering will have nothing to do with childbirth, infant feeding, or attachment parenting. You will suffer when your child is ill. You will suffer when your child is in pain, physical or psychological. You will suffer if your child gets injured. You will suffer if your child has a disability, a learning issue, difficulty making friends at school. You will suffer with worry over and over and over again. The only thing that will change as the years go by is the specifics of what you are worrying about this time. But none of that benefits your child either. If maternal suffering doesn't benefit children, who does it benefit? It benefits those who make money by convincing women to endure the suffering and sell books, courses, and services to support them through the suffering. In other words, midwives, doulas, and lactation consultants. And it benefits misogynists who believe that women exist to suffer and sacrifice for others. In other words, it benefits many people, but not babies and not women themselves. Natural childbirth advocates, midwives, doulas, the purveyors of books and courses should stop normalizing maternal suffering. Lactation professionals and lactivists should stop normalizing maternal suffering. Misogynists should stop normalizing maternal suffering. I have no hope of convincing any of these people to do so. They have too much at stake financially or psychologically to give up what has been an enriching and enjoyable practice. But I'm working diligently to convince you that you don't have to listen to those who normalize your suffering. Your baby doesn't need you to suffer. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise.